Europe does not wish to teach lessons. Europe wants to set an example. Europe wishes to set an example also by acting to bring about peace. Europe did so for Georgia. Europe did so with the Union for the Mediterranean precisely because Europe has undertaken for over half a century to stop the endless cycle of war, vengeance, and hatred, which periodically took it to the brink of the precipice. Europe does not want war. Europe does not want a war of civilizations. Europe does not want a war of religion. Europe does not want a Cold War. Europe wants peace. And it is because it wants peace that it is telling Russia that it wants to have links of solidarity with Russia, that it wants to build a shared future with Russia. It wants to be Russia's partner. Why then not build a continent-wide common economic space which would unite Russia and Europe? But Europe is also telling Russia with the same sincerity that it cannot compromise on the principle of states' sovereignty and independence, their territorial integrity, or respect for international law. Europe is telling all states that it cannot accept the use of force to settle a dispute. Europe is saying to Iran that it respects that country, that Iran has the right to peaceful nuclear energy, that Europe will explore all avenues of dialogue here, but Europe is also telling Iran with the same sincerity that it cannot accept a nuclear-armed Iran which would endanger the peace and the stability of the entire region. Europe cannot tolerate Iran's calling for the destruction of the state of Israel, and I say this very solemnly. Europe is telling Israel that it is a friend and that it will let no one threaten its existence. Europe is saying that we will always be at Israel's side to fight terrorism, but it is equally telling Israel with the same sincerity that there will be no peace unless there is a viable Palestinian state with recognized borders. Europe is saying to Afghanistan that it will continue to stand by that country's side, that it will not permit barbarians, the Al-Qaeda, again, to take an entire people hostage and to turn an entire country into a terrorist base. Europe is telling Somalia that it will help it, Mr. Secretary General, with the support of the United Nations, to combat the scourge of piracy off its coasts. Let all states of the world join in creating a maritime police force. We cannot allow these hundreds of pirates to call into question the free passage of ships in the world. Europe is telling Africa that it is committed, side by side with it, committed to co-development, that it wishes to be your special partner, that with Africa it has a common destiny and a profound sense of solidarity. Europe is telling Africa that it has its place among the permanent members of the Security Council and in the G8 that will be enlarged. How can you imagine that you can resolve the major affairs of the world by disregarding the African continent or the South American continent or a whole part of Asia? Europe believes in Africa's renaissance, which is underway and which, first and foremost, is in the hands of the Africans, particularly in the hands of African youth, which is the youth of the world. Basically, what brings us together in this forum, where everyone must and does listen to others, and thereby shows them a form of respect. What brings us together is something that is more basic even than democracy. What brings us together is respect for the dignity of one and all, as we are, with our diversity of opinions, with our cultures, our beliefs. Human dignity is a universal value. What we must promote everywhere is respect for this diversity. That is how we will build peace and human fraternity. That is how we will fight intolerance, hatred and violence, obscurantism and fanaticism. This is what Europe wants. Peoples united in respect, understanding, solidarity, peoples united throughout the world, working together for the great common cause of safeguarding humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, heads of state of government, time is at a premium. The world cannot wait. Thank you.